Helen Maroulis, congratulations. Your third Olympic medal. You go out with a quick pin. We've seen you do that in some big matches in the past. Talk through that sequence, that carry you were able to hit for the pin.
Yeah, honestly, I don't ever think about what I'm doing when I'm wrestling. When I'm wrestling my best, it's really I'm just in flow state. So deep prayer and just like meditation, and so nothing was planned. I don't know. I'm just really happy that it was kind of going quickly. So that's always nice.
Of course, and just the emotions after that, they were very visible for you. What was going through your mind and your heart in that time?
Yeah, it's been interesting looking back, having three games experiences now, and I didn't realize it until really last night that I've never really had heartbreak at the Olympics. In Rio I won, and then in Tokyo, when I lost in the semis, I just remember like I had this just peace beyond all understanding, and I just remember God saying, like, you can hold on to this and let this like resentment and bitterness grow, or you can let go of this right now. And I just instantly let go of it, and a lot of it was just because I was so grateful to even get back healthy. So this time around, I really thought I was going to win the gold again, and I started off really strong. And I think the biggest thing I was disappointed with was that I faltered a little bit in like my mental approach and not trusting myself. And my goal has always been I just want to wrestle to the best of my ability. And so when that didn't happen, that just really kind of like broke me mentally. Sorry, I'm just like a very long ramble, but
no, not at all.
The whole point of this is that like I didn't realize until last night where I was like, oh, I've actually never experienced heartbreak at the Olympics, and this was like that. It was like a tough pill to swallow, which in the grand scheme of things is not a big problem. It's an easy problem to have, but when you put like your whole self and everything into a goal and you think it's gonna go that way, it was just so coming back to the emotions of tonight, I was trying so hard just to not cry all day because I like felt myself getting exhausted, and then I felt myself really like falling in this like almost spiral where I was really doubting myself. And normally if I lose in the semis, it's like I instantly am like so just hungry to at least get the bronze or the next best thing. But this like kind of rattled my confidence, and I was really like am I going to be off again, and am I not going to feel like connected to God when I'm wrestling, which is like really what I wanted to experience, especially if this is potentially my last match. So when that happened and it went well, it was just like relief, cry, tears, I'm just also just kind of probably processing like a potential retirement, and so maybe that's the last time I get to experience that feeling again.
You mentioned in the semifinal not trusting yourself. How does that manifest as we watch? What does that look like, or what is that? What was it?
It's crazy because you can do everything right. You can prep, you can do everything, and you can be in the best headspace, and like literally 10 seconds before or 10 seconds during a match or a split second during a match, you can just get off. And that generally honestly really doesn't happen to me. Like once I'm in the zone, sometimes it's a lot of hard work to get in it, especially as I've gotten older, to like get that fire, dig down deep and find it. But lately, like when I'm in it, and so I don't know, I started on fire, and then something just switched. I started thinking, and I'm just never really and then I just felt like I wasn't really wrestling like myself, and I felt like I abandoned myself, and I abandoned trusting myself. And it's one thing that I've really like wanted to use sport from sorry, also it's been a long day, but
I appreciate your time.
I've always wanted to use sport to help me grow and develop as a person, and there's certain lessons that I feel like, I've learned this lesson, and like once I learn it, it's checked off, like I don't repeat that same mistake again. And so I was like, man, I learned this in like 2013, like to trust myself. How did I make this mistake again at such a big important moment? Like this was so and then I just thought about everyone that's poured into me, that like just everyone that's sacrificed for me, and I just was really disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, you had a great start in the semi. You took her down. What did you feel in that 4-point sequence there that she was able to get the big score on you?
Honestly, I felt like after the takedown, which I don't even remember what it was or how it happened, I just felt like I felt very confident in the hand fight, whereas before I spent a lot of time, like the last 2 years, just learning how to defend her like 2-on-1 and her underhook. And it got to the point here where I literally felt really confident in the hand fight, and I felt like I was negating a lot of stuff. And just flowing, and I was going to wait for openings. And she did get the 2-on-1, and I took a little bit too long to get the angle. And so she started like getting a better angle on me, and I felt that. And I had been like kind of working on playing around with this move. I was like, oh, maybe I can step behind and hook the leg. And then I went for it. And I think as I was pulling, I really don't even know what happened. Like, I don't remember feeling like she like initiated the move. It felt like it came off of me. So, and then even after the 4, I was like, look up. I didn't know if it was going to be 2 or 4. And I was like, okay, like that's, you know, it's a little bit more to come back from, but like we're in it. I feel good. Really, when I went to the break, the 30-second break is like kind of where I goofed up. I don't know why this just came into my head, but basically I was like, oh, you know, it's 3 more minutes until like your last ever Olympic finals. Like 3 more minutes, you can do anything for 3 minutes. But that's not how I think, and that's not like. So basically I went out there and I started pushing the pace and rushing, and that's not me. My style is like very just win the hand fight, be in the moment, like pick people apart. So just, yeah, I felt like I abandoned my style for no reason, and then from there it just kind of spiraled a little bit. So
thank you. That's great. Yeah. You talk about this could be, you don't know, final. What's that decision-making process look like? What's the timing look like for you?
Yeah, I mean, last night I was like, screw this, I'm taking these shoes off tomorrow. Like, after that last match, I was like, these shoes are coming off. But obviously, like, it's Olympics, emotions are heightened and stuff like that. But no, I generally, I feel like I wrestle for God. And I'm like, why do I keep doing this? I don't know, but I think it's because I love the experience, like the way that I get to pursue God in this, and the way that I feel His presence with me, and the way that it's just like I just love it. And I know that once it's done, like that door's closed forever. And not that I don't experience them in other ways, but this has just been such a gift to get to do it in this way and in sport. And so, yeah, but also each Olympics, I generally feel like I pray about it and I get a clear answer, and if I'm going to keep going. And I just feel like this whole year I've kind of known, like, we're really close to the end. Like, this is hard on the body, and just because you're healthy, and just because you're, like, you know, still wrestling better than ever, that's how I feel. I feel like my wrestling's just, it's continued to improve, but it's so hard. And there's just other things I want to do in life. I spend a lot of time, like, away from family and friends, and really don't have much of a social life. So maybe there's other things that I'm looking forward to.
It feels to me like, and you alluded to it, you're still absolutely Olympic champion level. Does that make it, as you process everything in the decision, does that make it harder?
Yeah, yes and no. I think, you know, but I for sure thought I was going to retire after Tokyo. And then when everything clicked, and I felt like it literally clicked like 3 days before the competition, and I felt like I got to wrestle like my old self again. It was like, well, wait a minute, I fought so hard to get this back. Why would I retire, you know, now when I'm wrestling so well? And then, and this time around, this whole year, it's just, I've had a lot of deep cries and processing, and just, you know, just kind of just accepting that, like, this whole experience just might be over. Sorry, I forgot what the question was.
No, that's okay. Just about being at the top of your game, and that.
Yeah, I had
tougher.
Had like a mentor friend and a supporter that was like, oh, you know, you like, basically this year you've really figured out the system. Like, you got everything, like all your needs are met. You got the coaching and the training and the resources. And I'm like, yeah, it's actually been amazing. Like, this has been one of the best training years I've ever had, and I like love everyone that I get to work with. And so, yeah, let's do this for another 4 years. But when you get to kind of like the tournament here, and it's like my back, it's literally felt like I've had arthritis in my back for like the last 2 weeks. I mean, I wake up and it's like I can't even pick up my socks, but by the grace of God, when I go practice, I can wrestle. But every other time around that, like, it hurts to sit in a chair, it hurts to sit down, to get my hair braided, it hurts, like, my shoulder, you know, my shoulder's been 75% torn since 2020-22. My head, I have to do so much stuff to stay on top of that. It's like, there's a lot of stuff that, yeah. So I'm grateful that I think things come together when it's like peak week, and, you know, by the grace of God, everything comes together. But it's also like sometimes feels like it's playing with fire. You know, it's like, can you really do this another 4 years? Like, can your body do this? And also you got to think, what do I want my body to feel like for the rest of my life? I didn't realize that I was struggling with some unprocessed emotions about, I really felt like I had abused my body with the way that I handled the concussions or the way that it got handled. And I think from the PTSD, I think I even had triggers with like anytime I would slightly get injured, I'd be like, what am I doing to myself? Like I remember I broke my orbital bone last year after Worlds, and I had to pull out of Pan Am's, and I literally came out of my body and I was looking down on myself right after I broke it, and it was just like, it just felt like this broken body. Like, what are you doing? Like, this is the only vessel you have. You only get one body. You can replace a lot of things, but like, this is it. Like, you're putting miles on this. So, anyways, in the grand scheme of things, like, think about that stuff.
Of course. Your career is obviously legendary, and you're a pioneer for American women's wrestling and freestyle. What do you, as you look back on your career, what do you want people to remember about you? I'm not saying that it's over, but regardless.
Man, looking back, what I want people to remember, this is actually interesting because when I was young, I grew up, before women's wrestling was really accepted, and I grew up wrestling boys for like the first 16 years of my life, and so I remember like all the time people would say like girls don't belong, girls shouldn't wrestle, and all this stuff, and it was like, okay, if I have very good technique and I hit like really good wrestling moves, like people will change their mind. So it wasn't even about winning or losing to me. It was like, I want people to see me wrestle, and I want to be like, that's just a good wrestler. Like, girl or guy, that's a good wrestler. And I think that really, actually helped drive me through my whole life to focus so much on being technical and everything. So when I lost the semis last night, I called my parents this morning crying, and I'm like, I'm trying to stop crying, but like, I just feel like I'm a head case right now. And I said, I just want to wrestle well, and I want people to like have this one last time to share my craft with the world, and like, I just want to put my signature on it well. And so yeah, I hope, I don't know, I guess that's pretty egotistical, but I don't know, just that I wrestled well, and then off the mat, like, I hope that the person that I am has made an impact, but I don't know.
Certainly has.
Also.
I'll just ask you one thing.
Yeah.
You've obviously set a lot of records. You've been a pioneer for the U.S. women's wrestling program. What does it mean to you to see me get gold, Sarah get gold? I mean, you did it first, but you've enabled others to also reach that pinnacle, I think, whether you realize it or not. But what does that mean to you?
I mean, I think, once you see it, you can believe it. And even before that, there were so many women that were like wrestling, just getting on the mat, hoping for one day for the Olympics to be added for women's wrestling. So they paved the way for me. They never got their dream realized, but they made it possible for me to get mine. And seeing Amit now win at 20 years old, winning like everything, it's like you can tell that she's gonna, like, we're passing the baton, she's carrying it well, and she's gonna go take that to a whole new level, and that's super cool to see. And then you see someone like Sarah that it's like, man, she's been in this for so long, she's gone through so much, and for someone to just stick with it, and you stay long enough, and like you can see your dream realized. And I'm so thankful that she gets to experience like this whole thing right now and have a family here and everything. So it's cool, and this is the first Olympics that we've had 2 gold medals, so before that it's kind of been like Tamara was the lone wolf and then I was the lone wolf. So I'm super happy that now we're like growing in numbers and they have each other, and I think that'll be really special. So
Helen, thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate your candor. Congratulations.
Thank you. This might be the last interview ever.
I hope not. Thank you.